Okay, so we're on Deuteronomy. Introductions to Moses' first address. These are the words that Moses spoke to all the people of Israel while they were in the wilderness east of the Jordan River. They camped in the Jordan Valley near Suph, between Paran on one side of Tophel, Laban, Hazeroth, Dizahab on the other side. Normally it takes only 11 days to travel from Mount Sinai to Kadesh Barnea, going by way of Mount Seir. But 40 years after the Israelites left Egypt, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses addressed the people of Israel, telling them that everything the Lord had commanded him to say. This took place after he had defeated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, and Edrei had defeated King Og of Bashan, who ruled in Ashtaroth. While the Israelites were in the land of Moab, east of the Jordan River, Moses carefully explained the Lord's instructions as follows. The command to leave Sinai. When we were at Mount Sinai, the Lord God said to us, "You have stayed on this mountain long enough. It is time to break camp and move on. Go to the hill country of the Amorites and to all the neighboring regions, the Jordan Valley, the hill country, and the western foothills, the Negev and the coastal plains. Go to the land of the Canaanites and to Lebanon, and all the way to the great Euphrates River. Look, I am giving all this land to you. Go and occupy it, for it is the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to all their descendants." Moses appoints leaders from each tribe. Moses continues, "At the time I told you, you are too great a burden for me to carry you all by myself. The Lord your God has increased your population, making you numerous as the stars, and may the Lord, the God of your ancestors, multiply you to 1,000 times more and bless you as he promised. But you are such a heavy load to carry. How can I deal with all your problems and bickering? Choose some well-respected men from each tribe who are known for their wisdom and understanding, and I will appoint them as your leaders." Then you responded, Your plan is a good one. So I took the wise and respected men you had selected from your tribes and appointed them to serve as judges and officials over you. Some were responsible for 1,000 people, some for 100, some 50, and some for 10. At that time I instructed the judges, "You must hear the cases of your fellow Israelites and the foreigners living among you. Be perfectly fair in your decisions and impartial in your judgments. Hear the cases and those who are poor as well as those who are rich. Don't be afraid of anyone's anger, for the decision you make is God's decision. Bring me any cases that are too difficult for you, and I will handle them." At that time, I gave you instructions about everything you were to do. Scouts explored the land. Then, just as the Lord God commanded us, we left Mount Sinai and traveled through the great and terrifying wilderness, as you yourself remember, and headed towards the hill country of the Amorites, where we arrived at Kadesh Barnea. I said to you, "We have now reached the hill country of the Amorites that the Lord God is giving us. Look, he has placed the land in front of you. Go and occupy it as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has promised you. Don't be afraid, don't be discouraged." But you all came to me and said, "First, let us send scouts to explore the land for us. They will advise us on the best route to take and which towns we should enter." This seemed like a good idea to me, so I chose 12 scouts, one from each of your tribes. They headed for the hill country and came to the valley of Eshcol and explored it. They picked some of the fruits and brought it back to us, and they reported, "The land of the Lord our God has given us is indeed a good land." Israel's rebellion against the Lord. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God and refused to go in. You complained in your tents and said, "The Lord must hate us. That's why he has brought us here from Egypt, to hand us over to the Amorites to be slaughtered. Where can we go? Our brothers have demoralized us with their reports. They tell us that the people of the land are taller and more powerful than we are, and their towns are large with walls rising high in the sky. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. But I said to you, don't be shocked or afraid of them. The Lord your God is going ahead of you. He will fight for you just as you saw him do in Egypt, and you saw how the Lord your God cared for you all along the way as you traveled through the wilderness, just as a father cares for his child. Now he has brought you to this place. But even after all he did, you refused to trust the Lord your God, who goes before you, looking for the best place to camp, guiding you with a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of cloud by day. When the Lord heard your complaining, he became very angry, so he solemnly swore, "Not one of you from this wicked generation will live to see the good land I swore to give your ancestors, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh. He will see this land because he has followed the Lord completely. I will give it to him and his descendants, some of the very land he explored during his scouting mission. And the Lord was also angry with me because of you. He said to me, Moses, not even you will enter the promised land. Instead, oh wait, is Deuteronomy all written by Moses? Moses, not even you will enter the promised land. Instead, your assistant, Joshua, son of Nun, will lead the people into the land. Encourage him, for he will lead Israel as they take possession of it. I will give the land to your little ones, your innocent children. You will be afraid they would be captured, but they in turn will be the ones who occupy it. As for you, turn around and now go back through the wilderness towards the Red Sea. Then you confessed, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go into the land and fight for it as the Lord our God has commanded us. So your men strapped on their weapons, thinking it would be easy to attack the hill country. But the Lord told me to tell you, do not attack, for I am not with you. If you go ahead on your own, you will be crushed by your enemies. This is what I told you, but you would not listen. Instead, you again rebelled against the Lord's commands and arrogantly went into the hill country to fight. But the Amorites who lived there came out against you like a swarm of bees. They chased and battered you all the way from Seir to Hormah. Then you returned and went before the Lord, but he refused to listen, so you stayed there at Kadesh for a long time, remembering Israel's wanderings. Then we turned around and headed back towards the wilderness, across the wilderness and towards the Red Sea, just as the Lord had instructed me, and we wandered around in the region of Mount Seir for a long time. Then at last the Lord said to me, you have been wandering around in this hill country long enough. Turn to the north. Give these orders to the people. You will pass through the country belonging to your relatives, the Edomites. The belongings to your relatives, the Edomites, the descendants of Esau who live in Seir. The Edomites will feel threatened, so be careful. Do not bother them, for I have given them all the hill country around Mount Seir as their property, and I will not give you even 1 square foot of their land. If you need food to eat or water to drink, pay them for it. For the Lord your God has blessed you in everything you have done. He has watched your every step through this great wilderness. During these 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you, and you have lacked nothing. So we bypassed the territory of our relatives, the descendants of Esau who live in Seir. We avoided the road through the Arabah Valley that comes up to the Elath and Ezion Geber. Then, as we turn north along the desert routes from Moab, the Lord warned us, do not bother the Moabites, the descendants of Lot, or start a war with them. I have given them Ar as their property, and I will give you any of their land. A race of the giants called Emites had once lived in the area of Ar. They were as strong and as numerous and as tall as the Anakites, another race of giants. Both the Emites and the Anakites are also known as the Rephites, though the Moabites called them the Emites. In earlier times, the Horites had lived in Seir, but they were driven out and displaced by their descendants of Esau, just as the Lord drove out the people of Canaan when the Lord gave Israel their land. Moses continued, then the Lord said to us, get moving, cross the Zered brook. So we crossed the brook. 38 years passed from the time we first left Kadesh Barnea until we finally crossed the Zered brook. By then, all the men old enough to fight in battle had died in the wilderness, as the Lord had vowed would happen. The Lord struck them down until they all had been eliminated from the community. When all the men of fighting age had died, the Lord said to me, today you will cross the border of Moab at Ar and enter the land of the Ammonites, the descendants of Lot. But do not bother them or start a war with them. I have given the land of Ammon to them as their property, and I will give you any of their land. The area was once considered the land of the Rephites who had lived there, though the Ammonites called them Zamazamit. Then they were also as strong and as numerous and as tall as the Anakites, but the Lord destroyed them so the Ammonites could occupy the land. He had done the same for the descendants of Esau who lived in Seir, for he destroyed the Horites so they could settle there in their place. The descendants of Esau live there to this day. A similar thing happened when the Caphtorites from Crete invaded and destroyed the Evites who had lived in the village in the area of Gaza. Moses continued, then the Lord said, now get moving, cross the Arnon Gorge. Look, I will hand over to you Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and I will give you his land. Attack him and begin to occupy the land. Beginning today, I will make the people throughout the earth terrified because of you. When they hear reports about you, they will tremble with dread and fear. Victory over Sihon and Heshbon. Moses continued, from the wilderness of Kedemoth, I sent ambassadors to the king Sihon of Heshbon with this proposal of peace. Let us travel through your land. We will stay out of the main road and won't turn off into the field on either side. Sell us food to eat and water to drink, and we will pay for it. All we want is your permission to pass through your land. The descendants of Esau who live in Seir allowed us to go through their country, and so did the Moabites who lived in Ar. Let us pass through until we cross the Jordan into the land the Lord of God is giving us. But the king Sihon of Heshbon refused to allow us to pass through because the Lord your God had made Sihon stubborn and defiant, so he could help you defeat him as he has now done. Then the Lord said to me, look, I have begun to hand Sihon and his land over to you. Begin now to conquer and occupy his land. Then the king Sihon declared war on us and mobilized his forces at Jahaz. But the Lord our God handed him over to us, and we crushed him, his sons, and all his people. We conquered all his towns and completely destroyed everything, men, women, and children. Not a single person was spared. We took all the livestock as plunder for ourselves, along with anything of value for the towns we ransacked. The Lord our God also helped us conquer Aroer on the edge of Arnon Gorge, and the town in the gorge, and the whole area as far as Gilead. No town had walls too strong for us. However, we avoided the land of the Ammonites all along the Jabbok River, and all the towns in the hill country, all the places the Lord our God commanded us to leave alone. Victory over Og of Bashan. Next we turned and headed to the lands of Bashan, where King Og and his entire army attacked us at Edrei. But the Lord told me, do not be afraid of him, for I have given you victory over Og and his entire army, and I will give you all his land. Treat him just as you treated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled you in Heshbon. So the Lord our God handed King Og and all his people over to us, and we killed them all. Not a single person survived. We conquered all 60 of his towns, the entire Argob region in his kingdom of Bashan. Not a single town escaped our conquest. These towns were all fortified with high walls and barred gates. We also took many unwalled villages at the same time. We completely destroyed the kingdom of Bashan, just as we had destroyed the king Sihon of Heshbon. We destroyed all the people in every town we conquered, men and women and children alike. But we kept all the livestock for ourselves and took the plunder from all the towns. So we took the land of two Amorite kings east of the Jordan River, all the way from Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonians, and the Amorites call it Senir. We have now conquered all the cities on the plateau and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as the towns of Salakeh, Edrei, which were part of Og's kingdom, and Bashan. Land division in the east of the Jordan. When we took possession of the land, I gave to your tribes of Reuben and Gad the territory beyond Aroer along the Arnon Gorge, plus half of the hill country of Gilead with its towns. Then I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, Og's former kingdom, to the half-tribe of Manasseh. I gave Gilead to the clan of Machir, but I also gave part of Gilead to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The area I gave them extended from the middle of the Arnon Gorge in the south to the Jacob River on the Ammonite frontier. They also received the Jordan Valley all the way from the Sea of Galilee down the Dead Sea, with the Jordan River serving as the western boundary. To the east were the slopes of Pisgah. At the time I gave this command to the tribes, that they would live east of the Jordan. Although the Lord your God has given you this land as your property, all the fighting men must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelites' relatives, armed and ready to assist them. Your wives, children, and numerous livestock, however, must stay behind in the town I have given you. When the Lord had given security to the rest of the Israelites, as he has to you, and when they occupy the land the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan River, then you may all return here to the land I have given you. Moses forbidden to enter the land. At that time I gave Joshua this charge: You have seen for you everything that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. He will do the same to all the kingdoms on the west side of the Jordan. Do not be afraid of the nations there, for the Lord your God will fight for you. At that time I pleaded with the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, you have only begun to show your greatness and the strength of your hands to me, your hand to me, your servant. Is there any God in heaven or earth who can perform such great and mighty deeds as you do? Please let me cross the Jordan to see the wonderful land on the other sides of the beautiful hill country and the Lebanon mountains. But the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he declared not to listen to me. That's enough, he declared. Speak of it no more. But go to Pisgah Peak and look over the land in every direction. Take a good look, but you may not cross the Jordan River. Instead, commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead the people across the Jordan. He will give them all the land you now see before you as their possession. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor. Moses urges Israel to obey. And now, Israel, listen carefully to those decrees and regulations that I am about to teach you. Obey them so that you may live, so you may enter and occupy the land that the Lord your God of your ancestors is giving you. Do not add or subtract from these commands I am giving you. Just obey the command of the Lord your God that I am giving you. You saw for yourself what the Lord did to you at Baal Peor. Then the Lord your God destroyed everyone who had worshipped Baal, the god of Peor. But all you who are faithful to the Lord your God are still alive today, every one of you. Look, I now teach you these decrees and regulations, just as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy. Obey them completely, and you will display your wisdom and intelligence among the surrounding nations. When they hear all these decrees, they will exclaim, "How wise and prudent are the people of this great nation, for what great nation has a God as near to them as the Lord our God near to us whenever we call to him? And what a great nation has decrees and regulations as righteous and as fair as this body of instruction that I am giving you today. But watch out, be careful never to forget what you yourself have seen. Do not let these memories escape from your mind as long as you live, and be sure to pass them on to your children and grandchildren. Never forget the day when you stood before the Lord your God at Mount Sinai, where he told me, 'Summon the people before me, and I will personally instruct them. Then they will learn to fear me as long as they live, and they will teach their children to fear me also.' You came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while flames from the mountain shot back into the sky. The mountain was shrouded in black cloud and deep darkness, and the Lord spoke to you from the heart of the fire. You heard the sound of his word, but didn't see his form. There was only a voice. He proclaimed his covenant, the 10 Commandments, which he commanded you to keep, and which he wrote on 2 stone tablets. It was at that time the Lord commanded me to teach you his decrees and regulations, so you would obey them in the land that you were about to enter and occupy. A warning against idolatry. But be careful. You did not see the Lord's form on the day he spoke to you from the heart of the fire at Mount Sinai. So do not corrupt yourself by making an idol in any form, whether a man or a woman, an animal on the ground, a bird in the sky, a small fish that scurries along the ground, or a fish in the deepest sea. And when you look up into the sky and see the sun, moon, and stars, all the forces of heaven, don't be seduced into worshiping them. Remember that the Lord rescued you from the iron-smelling furnace of Egypt in order to make you his very own people and his special possession, which is what you are today. But the Lord was angry with me because of you. He vowed that I would not cross the Jordan River into the good land that the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession. You will cross the Jordan River to occupy the land, but I will not. Instead, I will die here on the east side of the river. So be careful not to break the covenant the Lord your God has made with you. Do not make idols of any shape or form, for the Lord your God has forbidden this. The Lord your God is devouring fire. He is a jealous God. In the future, when you have children and grandchildren and have lived in the land a long time, do not corrupt yourselves by making the idols of any kind. This is evil in sight of the Lord of your God, and it will arouse his anger. Today I call the heaven and earth as witnesses against you. If you break my covenant, you will quickly disappear from the land you are crossing the Jordan River to occupy. You will live there only a short time, then you will be utterly destroyed, for the Lord will scatter you among the nations, where only a few of you will survive. There in the foreign land you will worship idols made from wood and stone, gods that neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. But from there you will search again for the Lord your God, and you will search for him with all your heart and soul. You will find him. In the distant future, when you are suffering all these things, you will finally return to the Lord your God and listen to what he tells you. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon you or destroy you or forget the solemn covenant he made with your ancestors. There is only one God. Now search all of history from the time God created the people on the earth until now, and search from one end of the heavens to the other. Has anything as great as this ever been seen or heard before? Has any nation ever heard the voice of God speaking from fire as you did and survived? Has any other God dared to take a nation for himself out of another nation by means of trial, miraculous signs, wonders, war, a strong hand, a powerful arm, and terrifying acts. Yet, this is what the Lord your God did for you in Egypt, right before your eyes. He showed you these things so you would know that the Lord is God and there is no other. He let you hear his voice from heaven so he could instruct you. He let you see the great fire here on earth so he could speak to you from it. Because he loved your ancestors, he chose to bless their descendants, and he personally brought you out of Egypt with a great display of power. He drove out nations far greater than you so he could bring you and give you their land as a special possession as it is today. So remember this and keep it firmly in mind. The Lord is God, both in heaven and on earth, and there is no other. If you obey all decrees and commands I am giving you today, all will be well with you and your children. I am giving you these instructions so you will enjoy a long life in the land of the Lord your God is giving you for a long time. Eastern cities of refuge. Then Moses set apart 3 cities of refuge east of the side of the Jordan River. Anyone who killed another person unintentionally without previous hostility could flee there to live in safety. These were the cities: Bezer on the wilderness plateau for the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth and Gilead for the tribe of Gad, Golan and Bashan for the tribe of Manasseh. Introduction to Moses' second address. This is the body of instructions that Moses presented to the Israelites. These are the laws, decrees, and regulations that Moses gave to the people of Israel when they left Egypt, and as they camped in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan River. This is the land formerly occupied by the Amorites under King Sihon, who ruled from Heshbon. But Moses and the Israelites destroyed him and his people when they came from Egypt. Israel took possession of the land that King Og of Bashan, the 2 Amorite kings of the east of the Jordan River. So Israel conquered the entire land from Arior at the edge of the Arnon Gorge all the way to Mount Sirion, also called Mount Hermon. And they conquered the eastern bank of the Jordan River as far south as the Dead Sea between the slopes of Pisgah. 10 Commandments of the Covenant Community. Moses called all the people of Israel together and said, "Listen carefully, Israel. Hear the decrees and regulations I am giving you today so that you may learn about them and obey them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us at Mount Sinai. The Lord did not make this covenant with our ancestors, but with all of us who are alive today. At the mountain the Lord spoke to you face to face from heart to heart of the fire. I stood as you intermediary between you and the Lord, as you were afraid of the fire and he did not want to approach the mountain. He spoke to me and I passed his words on to you. This is what he said: I am the Lord your God who rescued you from the land of Egypt, the place of your slavery. You must not have any other God but me. You must not make yourself an idol of any kind or an image of anything in the heavens or on the sea or on the earth. You must not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am jealous God who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is unaffected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generation of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations of those who love me and obey my commands. You must not misuse the name of the Lord your God. The Lord will not let you go unpunished if you misuse his name. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as the Lord your God has commanded you. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath day of rest, dedicated to the Lord your God. On that day, no one is in your household is able to do work. This includes you and your sons and your daughters, your male and your female servants, your oxen and donkeys, and all the other livestock, and any foreigners living among you. All your male and female servants must rest as you do. Remember that you were once slaves in Egypt, but the Lord your God brought you out with his strong hand and powerful arm. This is what the Lord your God has commanded you. This is why the Lord your God has commanded you to rest on Sabbath day. Honor your father and mother as the Lord your God commanded you. Then you will live a full life in the land of the Lord your God is giving you. You must not murder, you must not commit adultery, you must not steal, you must not testify falsely against your neighbor, you must not covet your neighbor's wife, you must not covet your neighbor's house or land, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. The Lord spoke these words to all of you assembled there at the foot of the mountain. He spoke with a loud voice from the heart of the fire, surrounded by clouds and deep darkness. This was all he said at the time, and he wrote his words on 2 stone tablets and gave them to me. But when you heard the voices from the heart of the darkness, while the mountain was blazing with fire, all your tribal leaders and elders came to me. They said, "Look, the Lord our God has shown us his glory and greatness, and we have heard his voice from the heart of the fire. Today we have seen that the Lord speaks to us humans, and yet we live. But now, why should we risk death again? If the Lord our God speaks to us again, we will certainly die and be consumed by this awesome fire. Can any living thing hear the voices of the living God from the heart of the fire as we did and yet survive?" Go yourself and listen to what the Lord our God says. Then come and tell us everything he tells you, and we will listen and obey. The Lord heard the request you made to me, and he said, I have heard what the people said to you, and they are right. Oh, that they would always hear my heart like this, that they would fear me and obey my commands. If they did, they and their descendants would prosper forever. Go and tell them, return to your tents, but you stay here with me so I can give you all my commands, decrees, and regulations. You must teach them to the people so they can obey them in the land I am giving them as a possession. So Moses told the people, you must be careful to obey all commands of the Lord your God, following his instructions in every detail. Stay on the path that the Lord your God has commanded you to follow. Then you will live a long and prosperous life in the land you are about to enter and occupy. A call for wholehearted commitment. These are the commands, decrees, and regulations that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you. You must obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy, and you and your children and grandchildren must fear the Lord your God as long as you live. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will be able to have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength, and you must commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these commands that I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you're on the road and when you're going to bed and when you're getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your foreheads as a reminder. Write them on the doorsteps, on the doorposts of your house, and write them on your gates. The Lord your God will soon bring you into the land he swore to give you when he made a vow to your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It is the land with large, prosperous cities that you did not build. The houses will be richly stocked with goods you did not produce. You will draw water from cisterns that you did not dig, and you will eat from vineyards and olive trees you did not plant. When you have eaten your fill in this land, be careful not to forget the Lord who rescued you from slavery in the land of Egypt. You must fear the Lord your God and serve him. When you take an oath, you must use only his name. You must not worship any of the gods of the neighboring nations, for the Lord your God who lives among you is a jealous God. He has anger that will flare up against you, and he will wipe you off from the face of the earth. You must not test the Lord your God as you did when you complained at Massah. You must diligently obey the commands of the Lord your God, all the laws and decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Then you will enter and occupy the good land the Lord swore to give your ancestors. You will drive out the enemies living in the land just as the Lord said you would. In the future, your children will ask you, what is the meaning of these laws, decrees, and regulations that the Lord our God has commanded us to obey? Then you must tell them, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with his strong hand. The Lord did miraculous signs and wonders before our eyes, dealing terrifying blows against Egypt and Pharaoh and all his people. He brought us out to Egypt so he could give us this land he has sworn to give our ancestors. And the Lord our God commanded us to obey all these bless us and preserve our lives as he has done to this day. For we will be counted as righteous when we obey all these commands the Lord our God has given us. The privilege of holiness. When the Lord our God brings you into the land you are about to enter and occupy, he will clear away many nations ahead of you, the Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. These 7 nations are greater and more numerous than you. When the Lord our God hands these nations over to you and you conquer them, you must completely destroy them. Make no treaties with them and show them no mercy. You must not intermarry with them. Do not let your daughter and sons marry their sons and daughters, for they will lead your children away from the worship of and worship other gods. Then the anger of the Lord will burn against you, and he will quickly destroy you. This is what you must do. You must break down their pagan altars and shatter their sacred pillars. Cut down their Asherah poles and burn their idols, for you are holy people who belong to the Lord your God. Of all the people on earth, the Lord your God has chosen you to be his special treasure. The Lord did not set his heart on you and choose you because you were numerous than other nations. You were smaller than the other nations. Rather, it was simply that the Lord loves you, and he was keeping the oath he had sworn to your ancestors. That is why the Lord rescued you with such a strong hand from your slavery and from the oppressive hands of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God. He is the faithful God who keeps his covenant for thousands of generations and lavishes his unfailing love as those who love him and obey his commands, but does not hesitate to punish and destroy those who reject him. Therefore, you must obey all these commands, decrees, and regulations I am giving you today. If you listen to these regulations and faithfully obey them, the Lord your God will keep his covenant of unfailing love with you, as he promised with an oath to your ancestors. He will love you and bless you, and he will give you many children. He will give fertility to your land and your animals. When you arrive in the land he swore to give your ancestors, you will have a large harvest of grain, new wine, olive oil, and great herds of cattle, sheep, and goats. You will be blessed above all the nations of the earth. None of your men or women will be childless, and all your livestock will bear young. And the Lord will protect you from all sickness. He will not let you suffer from terrible diseases you knew in Egypt, but he will inflict them on all your enemies. You must destroy all the nations the Lord your God hands over to you. Show them no mercy and do not worship their gods, or they will trap you. Perhaps you will think yourselves, how can we ever conquer these nations? How can we ever conquer these nations that are so much more powerful than we are? But do not be afraid of them. Just remember that the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and all. Just remember what your God did to Pharaoh and all the land of Egypt. Remember the great terrors the Lord your God sent against them. You saw it all with your own eyes, and remember the miraculous signs and wonders that his strong hand and powerful arm with which he has brought you out of Egypt. The Lord your God will use this same power against all the people you fear, and the Lord your God will send terror to drive out the few survivors still hiding from you. No, do not be afraid of those nations, for the Lord your God is among you, and he is a great and awesome God. The Lord your God will drive those nations out ahead of you little by little. You will not clear them away. You will not clear them away all at once, otherwise the wild animals would multiply too quickly for you. But the Lord your God will hand them over to you. He will throw them into complete confusion until they are destroyed. He will put their kings in your power, and you will erase their names from the face of the earth. No one will be able to stand against you, and you will destroy them all. You must burn their idols in fire, and you must not covet the silver or gold that covers them. You must not take it, or it will become a trap to you. For it is detestable to the Lord your God. Do not bring any detestable objects in your home, for then you will be destroyed just like them. You must utterly detest such things, for they are set apart for destruction.